Hi, welcome back. This is Parthiban from Leaderonomics. I'm excited to meet another senior leader in the industry. He has been in the industry for over 20 plus years. His name is Puneet Jain. Thank you, Puneet, for joining and taking your time.
Here. Yes.
So, Puneet is leading a very large global development center. He's very passionate about the topic leadership, and today we're going to talk about few questions and understand his journey about the leadership. So, Puneet, tell me about yourself as a leader and what led to you to where you are today.
Sure. Thank you, Parthiban. So, after I completed my master's in the US, I started working in the US, and I was working in a company which was supplying components to the aerospace industry. And as you know, that the aerospace industry has very, very stringent quality standards. I still remember the Boeing inspector telling me that, Puneet, you are signing and certifying these aerospace components, and if anything goes wrong for the next 25 years, your neck is on the line. So I think it was a great grounding in quality systems. And then thereafter, I moved back to India and worked in the automotive industry. And for the last 20 plus years, I've been working in different global development centers. I've been setting up and scaling global development centers in both India and Malaysia. And I've also worked across different sectors such as the automotive engineering side, on the semiconductors, as well as now on the information solutions, analytics and consulting.
And what are the key differences you found in these different industries or key similarities in your experiences?
Sure. I think most of these different global development centers across different sectors, there are a lot of similarities because you have to ensure that you get the right talent. You have challenges in terms of retention and ensuring that the productivity and quality is maintained. So I think there are a lot of similarities across these different sectors.
Okay. And tell me your journey as a leader. What was the biggest challenge you faced? What was your response to the challenge? And what did you learn out of it?
Sure. Every journey definitely has its set of challenges, and I had my share of challenges as well. I would say the first major challenge I faced was when I came back to India and I was looking for a job. I found it a little bit challenging to get the right job because at that point in time in the early 90s, the Indian economy was going through a slowdown, as well as the fact that some of the companies said that if you join us, we're sure that you would be frustrated in a few months and you would leave. And then I had few other companies tell me that you are overqualified. So those were some of the challenges that I faced when I came back to India. But I think in the end I got a great job. I continued working and kept getting promotions on a regular basis. But I found that, I was not getting the span of control that I was looking for. And then after working for about 12 plus years, I decided to pursue my MBA from Indian School of Business. And what I did was I quit my job and went to pursue my MBA. But it was a great decision because I learned a lot and it also opened up a lot of doors for me.
Can you tell a little bit more about the trigger to take a break and go for this MBA? So what led to that?
Yeah, I'd always wanted to do my MBA, but as I had gained some experience at that point in time in India, mostly people who were doing their MBA were doing it fresh out of college or with 1 or 2 years experience. And I think ISB was one of the first institutes that came to India wherein they took people with a higher amount of work experience. And so basically I joined the second batch of ISB. So that, it was something that I always wanted to do. And since ISB started, I felt it was a great match.
So what are you saying is you always wanted to learn. You
Yes.
kept on learning. You didn't stop after
Yes.
doing your degree from one of the finest institute of India.
Yes.
You didn't stop.
Yes, that's
Right?
true. That's true. Yes.
Okay. Tell me some more challenges in the workplace, especially with the people. And what are the most common one and how as a leader you overcome that?
Yeah, I think people always have diverse opinions, so it's important to make sure that we listen to all the different opinions and try to address any of the issues or concerns that are there. I think with today's millennial workforce, it's important to address the issues or concerns that they have and ensure that colleagues are engaged.
You're saying is you have to listen to every diverse viewpoints,
Yes.
and then you make a decisions, making to
Yes.
show that you are heard of everyone is saying.
Exactly.
What are the most important values you demonstrate as a leader?
I think as a leader, it's important to demonstrate a whole host of values. But if I had to pick a couple of them, it would definitely be respect and transparency. I think it's important to respect all employees and also to respect diverse viewpoints. And in case there are any difficult situations, I think it's important to treat employees with respect and dignity. And I think transparency is another important value. It's important to be transparent in processes and systems because that generates the respect and trust among employees. So whether it is in terms of awarding high value contracts, or whether it's in terms of performance awards, or whether it's in terms of making any major decision, I think it's important to form committees, and these committees should be from among all the employees, and these committees need to operate in a fair and transparent manner. And what we also do at times is make sure that other employees are invited to some of the proceedings of these committees, so that way it's a completely fair and transparent process.
And I can also see also a lot of inclusivity.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So
exactly. Yeah.
by forming a committee and involving them is also part of the inclusivity.
Yes, that's
Excellent. Tell me a situation where you had the most challenging part as a leader.
Leadership is definitely exciting, it's dynamic, but obviously it comes with its share of challenges. And I think as a leader, it's important to address those challenges and to also learn and grow from those challenges. I think the couple of major challenges which most of the leaders face is, one is in terms of building a consensus. I think that's always challenging because you have to listen to all diverse viewpoints and then come to a consensus. And then if there are any major concerns, I think it's important that those concerns are addressed before building a consensus. I think the other major challenge that most of the leaders face is in terms of handling conflicts, because it's important that the employees resolve their conflicts on their own, but if it's not possible, then it's important for the leader to step in and resolve the conflict. And it's important that it's done in a firm and gentle manner so that the conflict is addressed, and it's fair as well. So I think those are a couple of challenges that most of the leaders seem to face.
We are in an era where the change is a constant.
Exactly.
Right. So
exactly.
how do you embrace this change in the organization?
Definitely, yeah. Like you rightly said, businesses are going through a lot of volatility, uncertainty, and complexity. And as managers, it's very, very important as managers and leaders that we address these transformation changes that are happening in the company. So I think the first and foremost important aspect is ensuring that there's adequate communication at all different levels, because typically transformations fail if the communication is not good or if there's not buy-in. So it's very, very important that communication is there across all levels, and it's also important to get the buy-in of all employees. Once those two are addressed, I think the transformation becomes a lot easier. After that is done, obviously it's important to form teams to make sure that you have your key players defined and make sure that each of them have the roles and responsibilities adequately defined. And it's important to have periodic reviews to ensure that the transformation is going according to plan. Obviously, certain things sometimes don't go as per plan, but it's important to have a backup plan and ensure that if something doesn't work out, there's a plan B and a plan C. So it's very, very important that it's a very structured process.
Yeah. Here is basically you need to identify some of the change agents.
Exactly.
And empower them, and of course you need to have a periodic reviews to ensure that we are in the right path.
Definitely.
That's how large change can be managed.
Exactly.
Well. Okay.
Exactly.
Tell me, how do you measure success as a leader?
You know, success, I would say, is not just about meeting objectives. It's also about, you know, championing the vision, mission, values of the company. It's also about ensuring that employees are learning and growing on a daily basis. And I think the other major factor of success is definitely in terms of ensuring colleague engagement, because it's very, very important to have very high colleague engagement levels, and that's also very important as a success factor.
Okay. And one final thought to our young generations who's entering the workforce: how can they be a better leader?
I think they need to constantly keep learning and have the patience, because it takes time, you know, and every day should be taken as a learning opportunity, and never stop learning, whether it's you know, learning on the job or whether it's going back to college. I think learning is a constant.
Thank you so much, Puneet, for your wonderful conversation.
Yeah, thank you.
So you're listening to Mr. Puneet Jain and amazing conversations on how be a leader, especially for the young generations. Learning is constant. So keep learning and keep contributing. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.